All right, so let's talk about Boolean operators. What the hell that means? So imagine that I present you a snippet. So for instance, imagine that on my screen, on my DevTools, I got true or false. This double pipe is, I'm sure many of you are familiar with it. So this is the OR operator. So true or false. Can anybody tell me what true or false should return? No, true or false. That's going to run true. That's correct, Minji. If I run true or false, you are right, that returns true, yeah? Because if something is true or false, technically speaking, this is considered truthy. Obviously, if I do true or true, what will that return? Yeah, of course. And what if it's false or true? That's correct. And what if it's false or false? False, that's correct. So the OR operator returns something truthy unless all the operators are false. Yeah? As soon as one of them is true, then the expression returns true. So that's quite simple when dealing with Booleans, true or false. But things get a bit more complicated when dealing with other data types like strings, like numbers, and I don't even want to talk about arrays or objects. For instance, what if I have a message called hello or false? What will that return? Hello. That's correct, Minji. Why hello? Because with the OR operator, as soon as one of the expressions is evaluated as truthy, it will return it. Yeah? Hello is truthy because that's a string with some content on it, then it will return it, as you can see at the bottom of my screen. What if I got hello or world? Anyone apart from Minji? Anyone apart from Minji can tell me what will this expression return? Why hello? That's correct, Adam. The first truthy value. That's correct. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Hello or world. And what if I got false or world? Anyone? It will return world because once again is the first truthy value. Yeah. And to make it a bit more complicated, what if I have an empty string? That's correct, Minji. It's the same process. Empty string is considered falsy. Yeah? Because of that, is that truthy? No, no problem at all. Check the next one. Is that truthy? Yes, then return it. Yeah? What if I got a number? Let's talk about numbers. Number 9. 9 on the wall. What will that return? 9, that's correct, because 9 is truthy. Yeah, it's a number. And if I got minus 9? Minus 9, correct, because this is still a number. And what if I got 0? That's correct. 0 is the only exception, guys. 0 is the only number that is considered falsy. Yeah? You see? Is 0 truthy? No, no problem at all. Return the next one, yeah? Which is world. What if I got 0 or false? That's a bit more complicated. What will that return? Why false, Minji? Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So in this particular case, we don't have, unfortunately, any truthy expression because the first one is falsy and the second one is falsy. So what JavaScript will do here is, hey, first one, is that truthy? No, no problem at all. Check the next one. Is that truthy? No. There is nothing else. So JavaScript doesn't know what to do because everything is falsy. In that particular case, when JavaScript doesn't know what to do, it will simply return the last expression, regardless of whether it is truthy or falsy. So for instance, if instead of false, I got an empty string, 0, is it truthy? No. Empty string, is it truthy? No. But it doesn't matter because there is nothing else on the right. Yeah, so because of that, that returns an empty string. Any questions? No? Yeah, go for it. Yeah, every single day of your life, Adam, because don't forget something. So this sort of structure is very typical when dealing with conditional rendering. So for instance, if else or ternary. Yeah? So for instance, that's a good example, Adam. So can you tell me, Adam, what the outcome will be? That's correct, yeah? And that example is pretty simple. But what if I got an array? So imagine that I got a basket with fruits, apple, banana. So imagine that I want to check if my, I don't know, if I got some items on the basket. So I could do if basket.length is greater than 0, we could set the basket has items, else empty basket. We could do something like that, right? Basket with T. Of course, that will return the basket has items. But as part of this expression, we may change that. Imagine that we go to Tesco with our partner because we want to buy some toilet paper. So we may have 2 baskets. Yeah. So then we can combine them. You see? Let me check if we have any items. So that means, do we have to pay? Yeah. So we have to pay. Please pay if you got items in one of the baskets. You see? So in this particular case, because both baskets have some items, we have to pay. If we empty one of the baskets, do we have to pay, guys? Yes, because still, so that's why we need to have a good understanding of the OR operator, yeah, because we need to know how to deal with conditions, essentially. So go for it, Minji. If 0, what? Yeah, like that. If, that's a good question, Minji. What will that return, guys? Anyone? That's correct. Is 0 evaluated as truthy or falsy? Correct. That's correct. That's correct, Daniel. 0 is evaluated as falsy. Because of that, JavaScript will jump to the else statement. Nothing to pay. Yeah? That's a good question. That's a good question. What will that display? Please pay, correct. Because even though 0 is falsy, you are not checking 0. You are checking if 0 is the same as 0. 2 numbers, yeah? 0 is the same as 0, of course. So that will return please pay. Yeah? Any other questions, guys? That's all right. So obviously, when talking about the OR operator, we can combine as many operators as we want. So yeah, do you have any question, Panos? Yep. So first of all, if undefined, let's simplify your approach. Yeah. So is undefined truthy or falsy? That's false, correct. So I will return nothing to pay. Yeah, correct. But if we do undefined equal undefined, then it's the same as 0 equal 0. Yeah, because they are the same. Yes. 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 What will that return? Oh. That's interesting. Some people think that's a tricky question based on what Pano suggested. Yeah. So when talking about numbers, 6 equals 6. Yeah, for sure. 6 is the same as 6. Please pay. No problem at all. If we talk about the strings, Panos and Panos, it's the same thing, right? They will compare the strings. If they are exactly the same, please pay, of course, because JavaScript is case sensitive. If we change, for instance, the second capital P, these two tokens will not be the same anymore, so that will return nothing to pay. Yeah, so you should be careful about that. But apart from these details, strings are easy to deal with. Booleans, of course, yeah, true equal true, no problem at all. But objects and arrays are different, and the reason is when you create an array, essentially you are adding a new reference to memory in your system. So an array is an address into your system's memory. Then here you create a new array, which is a new address in your memory. Because of that, we got two different addresses. So technically speaking, these two arrays are not the same. That's why that returns nothing to pay. And the same criteria applies to objects. You see? If you got two empty objects, technically speaking, they won't be the same. In the next month, guys, we'll do a workshop to analyze how to compare. For instance, what happens if I got two baskets, right? Once again, we'll go to Tesco with our partner with two baskets, and we want to see if we got the same thing, right? So baskets are the same or different baskets. Yeah, that won't work, because technically speaking, if I got a basket with an apple and my partner got a basket with another apple, from a human point of view, we got the same products, right? However, from a JavaScript perspective, that's not correct. We will see next month how to compare arrays, how to compare objects and things like that. Yeah. So don't worry about these corner cases, these more complex use cases scenarios about arrays and objects. For now, let's simply focus on the basics. And the basics are strings, booleans, and numbers. So what happens if I got 0 or false or nil or undefined or hello or empty string? What will that return? Correct, Daniel. Hello, because it's the first truthy expression. Is 0 truthy? No. Next. Is false truthy? No. Next. Is nil truthy? No. Next. Is undefined truthy? No. Next. Is hello truthy? Yes. Will that string on the right hand side be ever evaluated, guys? No, not at all. You can do whatever you want here. You can do something illegal. Buy on the dark web. Yeah, that piece of code on the right hand side will be ignored, because as soon as JavaScript identifies a truthy expression, it will return it. Any questions? Any questions, guys? Thank you. So what we've seen is about the OR operator, but as you are probably thinking already, we also have the AND operator. So the AND operator is, let me simplify that, written with double ampersand. What will this snippet return? Correct? Yeah, true or true is true. And what if I got true or and true and true? What if I got true and false? False, correct. Yeah. And false and true? False, correct. And of course, false and false, it will be obviously false. Yeah. So the AND operator is like the OR operator, but on the other way around. So it checks for all the truthy values. And if all of them are truthy, then it will return the last truthy value, let's say. So for instance, what if I got hello and false? What will that return? False. That's correct, guys. And hello and undefined? That's correct. It's undefined. Yeah. Why undefined? Why undefined? Let me even make it more complicated. Hello world, but undefined in between. So it will check the first expression, hello. Is hello truthy? Yes, it's a string with some text on it. Fantastic. Jump to the next expression. Is undefined truthy? No. Then just return it. Yeah. So as soon as one of the expressions breaks the chain because it's not truthy, it will be returned immediately. So once again, the last expression, world, won't even be evaluated. So once again, you can do something illegal by, on, the, or by toilet paper rolls. Yeah. So that bit on the right hand side will be ignored. Will be ignored because undefined is falsy, and then it will be returned straight away. Any questions? That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct, Adam. So what that expression will return nil. If I put 0, it will return 0. If I put an empty string, it will return an empty string. Yeah. And what if I put world? What will that return? So wait. Let's guys, let's bring some points for the board challenge. So Adam said true, I think. What was Ian or Panos said undefined. Minji, what did you say? Okay, so don't assume anything. Don't assume anything, my friend. So I want to listen to. We got Ian and Daniel. So Ian. Yeah, that's true. Ian undefined and Daniel. What do you think? That's interesting, guys, because 5 of you got 3 different questions out of 5 people. Yeah, so that's very interesting. So Daniel is right. Why? Hello, truthy, yes, check the next one. World, truthy, yes, check the next one. That will be returned because that's the last bit. But what's the problem? Did we declare the buy 120 toilet paper rolls? Did we declare that function at all? No, that function doesn't exist, right? What happened? In other words, that function is undefined. What happened when you try to invoke a function that is undefined? Exactly. The function is not defined. Cool. Fantastic, Daniel. You got 1 point on the board challenge for this week. Any questions? No? Cool. Thank you. What happens if we combine, can we combine and or expressions? Or before going that far, imagine that I got hello and empty array and world. What will that return? In other words, is an empty array truthy or falsy? That's correct, Minji. An array is always truthy because once again, if you remember, when you declare an array, this is adding a new element on your memory. Yes, creating a new address on your memory. So that will return world because it's the last element. Yeah. Of course, if you put something on it, then it's exactly the same thing. What if I got a basket of items? Once again, back to the basket issue with Apple, and I want to check if the basket has items. Yeah? So tell me, guys, if that's correct or not. That's a classic problem, guys, for juniors. You see, I want to see if my basket of fruits or groceries has some elements. First of all, will that work? Yes or no? And if not, why? It will return the basket has some items. That's correct, Adam. And the reason is because once again, arrays are always truthy. Yeah, but you agree with me, if you're building an app, that's not what we want, right? Because by default, new customers, they got nothing in the basket. So can anyone figure out how to solve the problem? The length. Yeah, that's correct. Was that Panos? Okay, cool, fantastic. Yeah, basket.length. Yeah, that's the way you solve it. Because even though we cannot check the array itself, of course we can check the length, and the length returns a number. Yeah. So if the number is greater than 0, or in this particular case, if the number is 0, no items. But as soon as we add some fundamental elements to the basket, then the basket has some items. Yeah. Do we need to add the greater equal 0? Can we do that? No, that means it won't work, Minji? So what will that do? So do you mean that at the moment that will return the basket? Sorry, no items on the basket, right? What do you think, guys? Do you agree with Minji? Why, Ian? Absolutely. Minji, Ian is right. What will basket.length return? 1, because the basket has 1 element. So in other words, we're doing that. Is 1 truthy or falsy? Correct. So then the basket has some items. And what if I Got that. Correct. So now basket.length is 0. In other words, we are replacing basket.length with number 0. Is 0 truthy or falsy? Falsy. So that will work, right? Look, no items on the basket. And then if I add something, the basket has some items. So that actually works. That's a small trick. Yeah, you can do greater than 0, or you can just remove 0, and then it works. Any questions? No. Thank you. So now let's do some fireworks. The last part of this workshop. Let's complicate expression a bit more, just to prove whether you understood it or not. So yes, some random tests. So true or false? What that returns again? True, correct. And true and false? And true and exclamation mark false? That's correct. Minji is right. Yeah. So that will return exclamation mark false. So what the exclamation mark essentially negates the expression. Yeah. Inverts the expression. So if you negate false, that returns true. Yeah. So that will display true. If I negate true, what will that return? Correct. That will return false, because true is a truthy. Yes, then all the responsibility is on the last expression. That will be returned. We got true, but before returning it, we negate it. Yeah, so the opposite to true is obviously false. What if I got true or false, and then pay attention to the parentheses, guys? What will that return? Why true, Minji? Correct? Yeah, that's correct. Brilliant, that's correct. And what if I had something else? Ian, what do you think? So okay, let's guys, let's add another point. So Minji said true. Ian, no. Okay, who else? So Panos agrees with Minji. Daniel, Ian. So Adam said Ian, and then Daniel, and then Ian. Okay, and finally Ian. So you agree with Adam. Cool. All right, let's destructure the problem. Divide and conquer, guys. So you got something. This is, I mean, yeah, don't forget something, guys. Obviously now nothing works these days. Yeah, that's true. However, it's just a matter of time that everything will get back to normal. And as soon as everything gets back to normal, I mean, the coding industry will be on top of everything. I can give you examples of similar, not similar, but situations in the past where the economy was very in a very bad situation. But afterwards, you know, even not afterwards, so even in bad moments, so software is still needed. Yeah, I remember 10 years ago, the unemployment rate in Spain was 23%. Do you imagine having an unemployment rate of 23%? That's insane. Even in that particular case, no one was unemployed in the software industry. Yeah. So yeah, that's a bit off topic, but it's important to keep that focus. Yeah, that it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time that you'll go to a job interview and they may present you a snippet like this one. Yeah. So to me, even if you fail, giving the right answer. The important thing is to be able to explain, to expose, to destructure the problem. So the way I will destructure that is, all right, look, you got two expressions, one on the left and one on the right. So let's simplify the problem. True or false is true, yeah? So that's the first bit. And now let's have a look to the second bit. False, because we got the or expression, or true, fantastic, then that will return true, because using the or expression, as soon as one of the elements is truthy, yeah, then everything, that's it, essentially. So nothing else will be analyzed on the right hand side. That's why that returns true. So that means that Minji and Daniel get 1 point. It's just the first one, Panos. I think Minji, sorry. Sorry, guys. What if we invert the expressions? Look. So Panos said false. Panos, Minji, Daniel, Ian, Adam. Daniel, everyone false. Okay, yeah, you're right, guys. You're right. Fantastic. You see, the process is the same. Let's break it down. True and false is false, clearly. Yeah. And on the second side, false and something else, then that's it. Yeah. As soon as one of the expressions is falsy, then that's it. Nothing else will be evaluated, and that will return false. So essentially, false or false will obviously return false, as you can see here. And the last example. Last one, guys, of the day. Of the workshop, at least. Sorry. Yeah, that's it. Minji said it's gonna return hello. Actually, Panos, you agree with Minji? Yeah, that's correct. Why? Because hello or false, that will return hello. Yeah, hello or something, it doesn't matter. Yeah, as soon as the first expression is truthy, that won't even be evaluated. And what we have that and? Yeah, I always say that's the last question, but I always have one more question. So what about this? Okay, wait. So Minji said hello, and then Adam said true. So Panos, Ian said it's going to return Ian, and Daniel. Daniel, what you said? Hello? Okay, cool. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Once again, guys, let's break it down. On the first part, hello or false returns hello. Yeah, you agree on that? And then on the second part, empty string length. Empty string length is 0. Is 0 equal 0? Yes, true. Then jump to the next bit. True. Truthy? Yes. Then return the last bit. Ian. Yeah. So essentially, we are returning hello and Ian. What hello and Ian returns? Well, the same. Ian, that's correct, Minji. Hello, is that truthy? Yes. Then return the last bit. Ian. Yeah. So Ian is right and gets the last point of the workshop. Cool. That's the way it works, guys. I mean, we could obviously continue hours and hours making super nasty examples, yeah. But if you want my suggestion, just play with random examples. Sometimes you know what they do. I do weird things. I don't know. I just random examples, and then I spend a couple of minutes trying to break it down, trying to understand, trying to explain to myself, all right, so false, and essentially what we've done today. I think this is very healthy, because even though you may be thinking, oh, but when do we need that? It happens often that you got an if statement, and if you got if A or if I have ticket and I am about 18 years old, or my parent is rich. These type of exercises are pretty common, so it's very important to have the ability to break it down. Yeah. Any questions, guys? Yep. Yes. That's a good question. So you say we got hello and world or coterie. That's a good question. I don't know, Panos, but let's figure out. So Panos' question is, what is the parenthesis implicitly? Is it here or is it there? Yeah. That's a good question. What happens first? I mean, let's figure out. So if the parentheses run on the left-hand side, well, the thing is, in this particular case, there is no difference. There is no difference because the result will be the same. But anyway, let's explain that. So if the first expression runs first, hello and world, that will return world. And then world or coterie, that will return coterie. If the parentheses are on the right, so if the last expression runs first, that means world or coterie. Well, no, it's different. It's different result actually. You see, it's different. You're right. So it's a really good question. So world or coterie will return world, and then hello and world will return world. Yeah. So if parentheses run first, coterie, and if parentheses run last, world. I don't know. Let's try that. World. But the question is it because the last expression is evaluated first, or is it because the or expression runs before the and expression? I don't know. I mean, based on that theory, it looks like the expression is evaluated right to left. Let's see if that assumption is right or not. So if the assumption is right, wall and coterie should run first, right? So that means wall and coterie will return coterie, and then hello or coterie will return hello. So that should return hello. If my assumption is wrong, and the way it works is it prioritizes the or expression, if that's correct, so we'll do hello or wall, that will return hello, and then hello and coterie, it will return coterie. So if we read expressions right to left, hello. If the or operator runs first, then we said it will be coterie, I think. Let's just figure out. Yeah. So the original assumption was the correct one. So the expressions, if you don't put any parentheses, the expressions run right to left. Yeah. So in this particular case, we'll get coterie or A. What coterie or A will return, guys? Correct. No, wait a minute. A? Why A? Correct. With the OR operator, remember guys, it returns the first truthy expression. So coterie or A will return coterie. And then wall or coterie, what will that return? Are you sure? It's one or the other, right? Yes, correct. So remember, guys, when we deal with the OR operator, we return the first truthy expression. When we run the AND operator, we return the last truthy expression. That's why it's sometimes confusing. But if you think about it, the coterie should return hello. There you go. Yeah. So the parentheses are always, if you don't put them, the expressions are always evaluated right to left. Yeah. Anything else? No? Cool. So let's leave it here, guys. Let's do a 5 minutes break. Please stay on the line. Let me prepare the covers, and then we'll run this last workshop of the day, arrays versus set. Thank you.